up, guys? It's Josh here from Retrobution. I'm here with Ash, his mum.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Pause teasers.
Yeah, he's probably one of the first guys that introduced me to video gaming all those years ago.
Yep.
We got a Nes Mini here. Ash, any memories?
Well, of course, Josh. I mean, I was going to say it's the worst memory I ever have, actually. When I come home from school one day and I like to keep all my things in nice, pristine condition.
As you can see.
And I come home and you'd ripped up all my NES cartridges boxes, something I've not forgiven you for even to this day.
I'm sorry about that, man, but you know me. I just
there
had
you
to
go.
get my hands on.
Exactly, and this is why I want to keep this one a bit away from you at the moment. But anyway, guys, what we'll do is, you know, obviously these bits of kits, they're hard to get hold of. I was very fortunate enough to get hold of one of these from the Nintendo store. I set up on a website called Stock Informer. If you're after one, just you go on there and just watch your emails like a hawk. I believe it's been discontinued now.
Yeah, I read an article. They're actually discontinued, but you know what that means? They're going to bring out a Nes Mini, which was my favourite console.
Yeah, well, it's definitely up there. It's,
Yeah.
it's one of the best classic consoles there is out there.
Definitely.
But I mean, one of the things with this console, you know, it's got 30 games on it, which is a good library. But, you know, looking at it, there's some games, I think, Josh, that they may have missed. What do you reckon?
Yeah, there's like, I was thinking to myself that they could have easily, with the technology today, they could have put a Nintendo e-store where you could have downloaded more games onto this, because they could have made a lot of money by doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
There's games that are missing,
definitely.
like, I remember Duck Hunt, like, they could have released a mini gun for this.
Yeah.
Duck
That
Hunt
would have
on
been
there.
quite cool. That would have been quite cool.
What other games do you reckon that could have been on this console?
Well, Double Dragon's on this console. Double Dragon 2, sorry, but Double Dragon isn't. Which,
Original.
you know,
Yeah,
and
it
that's an all-time classic. Back to your question earlier about one of my memories. I remember when I first got a Nintendo Entertainment System, and I got one with Turtles.
Turtles,
And
that's another
it's a
big
classic game.
man.
I remember
that.
spending hours and hours and hours trying to complete this game, and then one Sunday afternoon, I was with Sean, who's also from Retrobution. You'll be meeting him in future videos. I was in his house playing this game for hours, and all of my friends were outside playing football. And then I eventually completed it, and everyone just rolled into the house and was obviously like congratulating me. No one had completed this game, so yeah, that was quite an achievement actually when I completed Turtles. But yeah, it's awesome.
For
Gutted
me,
it's not on here.
For me, the main game on this console at the moment, for me, is Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah.
Apparently that was the most best-selling NES game of all time.
Yeah, it was. Also, it kind of like almost evolved this console because it was very different to other Mario games that was out at the time. I mean, Mario 2, obviously, it was a bit. It was okay. It had the good character selection aspect, which I think was quite new to Nintendo.
Yeah.
And obviously, the game was set in a dream. It didn't stay true to most Mario games. But Mario 3 obviously had the world was not free roam, but it had a feel of free roam about it. You didn't have to do certain levels. You know, the progression was quite good. You know, the quirky little things like the Hammer Brothers that would get in your way. It's an awesome game.
And with this console as well. Now the younger generation are not going to know this, because obviously with PlayStations like today, you could save games within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
These consoles, you couldn't save nothing. You had to do it in one go.
You had some games you had one life, some games you had 3 lives. Games like Mario, you could earn extra lives by quirky little side games or by collecting 100 coins, whatever. You know, a lot of people know about this sort of stuff. But you know, it's these the games that are out now. Obviously, you can complete them as long as you put the hours in. Same with these, but the skill was definitely more required on retro video games.
Definitely. Can you imagine like the electricity running out? You're on the last level, last boss, and the electricity goes in your house.
That happened to me plenty of times. I remember like I say, I'll bring it back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just spent so many hours trying to complete that game, and eventually I did it, and it was amazing, man. Like, people were going mad. People were cheering me on and everything. It was great. It was great. I felt a little bit like a celebrity.
I seem to remember like games like this is on the SNES, like Street Fighter Turbo. You had people over, and you had people coming in watching you, and you were getting to the last boss, and it was almost like people were cheering you on, like to to do this, man. Like
Yeah.
no one's ever
Well,
seen
no,
it happen.
no one. You know, I will lay claim that I was a very good retro gamer back in the day. Don't know how I'm gonna perform now. I mean, one game that's on this actually, Punch Out, which was later renamed to Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Classic, man.
But then it got taken away from Mike Tyson. I'm not sure why. I've read about it before, but I got to Mr. Dream. I got to Mike Tyson. Could never beat them. They just used to fucking knock me out every time. They was just so difficult to beat. And these guys, you know, it was a sequence game. It was almost the same every time you played it, but I just could not work out how to win that last fight. I was never world champion.
And there was no internet back in those days either, so it's not like you could have went online.
No, you relied on Games Master.
Yeah. That was a TV show.
Yeah,
man.
you had to rely on Games
TV
Master.
show. The little guy in the head pops up and he gives you the cheats or whatever else.
Yeah, it was an awesome program. But anyway, we'll crack on with unloading this bad boy
Let's see what it
because
looks like, because I've never actually seen it until now. And I mean, the box is tiny.
it is. It's absolutely tiny. I'll tell you what, Josh. I'll do part. You can do the rest.
Yeah, man. God, this feels like.
Careful though. We want to keep it intact.
No, of course, man. That looks like an original manual there. Like they've actually made it black and white as well. That's proper retro, that, man.
That's awesome.
Retro, yeah.
It is awesome.
I'm guessing this is it here.
Yeah.
Damn, that is tiny. Should we get that out of the way just so we can get this in the shot? But this is, man, that is.
Well, obviously, sure you guys have seen these before. But
Obviously, we're a bit late with this, but boy, that is tiny, man. And it's the thing I noticed on this as well. You can't actually open this up, which I'm a little bit disappointed with. I thought maybe they could have, like, you know.
I know what you mean, but you know, it's just a shell, isn't it? I mean, they should have allowed it to be opened up. But then, do you remember all the stuff with people blowing in the NES consoles and blowing in the games? Maybe they didn't want you to blow in it.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was, because
broke it or something.
A lot of people thought that actually helps the games.
No, it didn't. No, it wasn't good for
broke them. Really.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know why people used to do it.
We all did it.
We did. I went through about 3 of these consoles, you know, from blowing cartridges to that frustration of not being able to complete DuckTales, and eventually I put my foot through the NES, which, you know, obviously.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of fists through the door, mate. You know,
yeah, it happens. You see FIFA rages now.
Yeah,
Get
you should have
DuckTale
seen,
Rage on one of these. Jesus Christ. That's another game which ain't on there.
Yeah.
Another classic game. Chip and Dale. There's so many.
They've missed the trick there, Nintendo,
They have.
man.
Let's have a look at the pad anyway. Original pad.
Yep, I remember that, man.
Yep, it is the original pad. Original Nintendo pad.
And then the D-pad, that was actually the beginning of the D-pad here, the cross D-pad.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Did they not have D-pads on handhelds? Or was it the first?
Well, obviously, this was the first entertainment system made by Nintendo. Obviously, the Game Boy had the D-pad, the first D-pad on there, the first of the Game Boy. I've heard about the cord on this. It's pretty
very short. You can see it. It's probably in line with what's on the box, but it's a very, very short cable.
Yeah, that can cause some problems. I mean, I've heard you can get extended cables.
Do you know what, Josh? I was smart enough to buy, which you can get off Amazon for about £6, another pad. Obviously, it's not an official one. It's a Chinese import or whatever.
Well, it looks pretty decent.
Well, I read somewhere that these pads are actually better than the ones Nintendo supply you. So again, guys, if you want to preserve these things, because they're going to go for a lot of money, the same with the consoles in years to come. I've still got a Super Nintendo in the box. It's gaining value. I bought it off eBay for about £23 about 10 years ago. It's worth a couple of hundred now, I think. Yeah. So, and also with that, I've got an extension for the official pad for when we launch some 2-player action on this, which we'll be doing. One thing I'm looking forward to in particular is Charlie, who's on camera.
Oh yeah.
Can't introduce him because he isn't mic'd up, but I'm going to get him to play Punch Out. And my money's on him getting knocked the fuck out actually, by Piston Honda in the first round. He's going to knock him out. Yeah. Charlie's a Call of Duty player and he's tried to make it, but obviously, you know, all them years of sweating hasn't done him much good, and now he's filming us Retrobution.
Let's see him try, and clock one of these games, because I guarantee he wouldn't clock one of these games.
He would eventually, but it's you know it's all about. I know games now you have to put time and effort, but these games are frustrating. I mean, the only game which really frustrates me is FIFA, but these games delivered unbelievable amounts of frustration.
You talk about frustration with the games like today. I don't really get that frustrated because it's like I said earlier.
Only FIFA.
Yeah, FIFA. But I'm talking about RPGs and stuff like. You can save anywhere in these games these days, and like you could die so many times and you can carry on. I remember Contra 3, Super Robotech. What did you get? 3 lives on that?
You got 3 lives. You could again on a lot of retro games, you could earn lives, so you could rack up a load of lives. Because I remember the last boss on that game. Do you remember it? Like the alien brain. Jesus Christ! I remember once there was this thing you could do on Probotector, and I left my console on for about 2 hours with something on one of these buttons here, or on the SNES, I think it was. Something rested on the button, just firing a spot where these aliens were spawning, and then I went back after a couple of hours and I had like 60, 70 lives, and I was like, I have to complete this game now, I've got no excuse. That was how you cheated back in them days, by doing stuff like that. But I mean, with this Nes Mini, Josh, also, you know, we've talked about what games is on this console for its release. Sadly, you can't update the library, although there are some pretty good YouTube videos out there showing you how to do it. It does void your warranty, so obviously bear that in mind. Again, like obviously you've got Super Mario 1, 2 and 3 on here. Final Fantasy, the debut of it, which you know a lot of people, they probably look at Final Fantasy and think it started at Final Fantasy 7. No, it didn't. It started here. It did for you.
That's where I started.
I've played Final Fantasy. You know, this is where it started. Obviously classics like Castlevania, Metroid, you got Kirby's Adventure. Wasn't a big fan of that.
Didn't really play that.
Wasn't a big fan of that. Mega Man 2, which still to this day has one of the greatest openings of a video game for me. I know it's retro, but it is just awesome. If you can go on YouTube and have a look at it, just do it, because it's great. Obviously, some games that aren't in pictures here, you got Super Mario, Balloon Fight, Zelda 2, which is incredible.
Which is one of the games Nintendo only made 2 cartridges that are different from the original.
The Zelda games,
and it was the Zelda games. So I remember Zelda 2 was a gold cartridge.
Yeah, I had Zelda 2. I never owned The Legend of Zelda. The first one, obviously, you know, lent off mates or whatever. Kid Icarus is on here, another classic game for me. Love that game. You got Double Dragon 2. Double Dragon isn't on here, which I'm quite disappointed about again, because Double Dragon obviously started that series. But yeah, we're going to be excited to play it, and
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait playing these games, man. This is how I got into video games. This is what I grew up with. More the SNES, really. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really hoping they release a SNES Mini, man.
I am as well, but I mean, I think the Nintendo Entertainment System, obviously, for people of my age, it is where it all started, and just
1983 Famicom. That's what it was called in Japan.
The Famicom, because then they had the Super NES, which was the Super Famicom over in Japan. But no, I can't wait to play this bit of kit. And again, I think I'm more looking forward to Charlie getting knocked out.
Yeah, that's going to be good, man. Anyway, that's it for this video. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, follow us on Instagram at Retrobution. Same with Twitter, sorry. That's
went all Australian there. Twitter.
Don't know why, man. Don't know why, but
lads streaming.
Hadouken!